Today is going to be a great day. I am Nikki G, your host. Welcome to the Lone Doctrine, the food for thought exploration station, and your place in making today better than yesterday. Every month, we pick a topic to explore and gather as much concentrated information as possible so you can find your seeds of greatness. This month, we're talking about the times you might feel lost. Lost in translation, lost in your goals, lost in life. The term lost can find its place in many places, pun intended. But let's get to the root. What might be causing this feeling of loss, and how can we start, in a metaphorical sense, being found? There is so much pressure, either from family, friends, coworkers, but mostly in society, to be this perfect picture. Our looks, our jobs, our friend group, the status quo. But what does it really mean? And is it even meaningful? A lot of what we see is quote unquote fake. We're in a time of perfection and setting expectations that are unrealistic. The truth is, even the most successful people, even famous people, come across a time of feeling lost. No one is alone in this feeling or time in their lives, but it becomes so taboo to speak of it that too many people become very isolated in their darkness, for a lack of a better explanation, and that's when we see humanity falter. It's time we start talking more. It's time we reveal our truth and lift one another up. I hope today's episode will give you some ideas, some practical and actionable ways to start moving forward out of feeling lost, or at least prepare you should you come across a time of feeling lost, which unfortunately most likely will happen at some point in your life. We are here to lift you up. So here's some food for thought. Remember, it's okay to feel lost. Sometimes we need these moments in our lives to help us grow. Diamonds are forged under the highest pressure, and most hardships, when pursued with humility to learn, lead to a better and healthier perspective on life. Sometimes our isolation gives us the self-confidence we need to become more self-reliant and realize what we seek most is within us and not necessarily dependent on an outside source. I know in times I've felt the most lost, it forced me to slow down. Sometimes we need to slow down. We get so wrapped up in the future, us, in a way, we lose the present moment. Sometimes in our darkest times come the most clarity. It's the hardest, but as we continue to push forward and as we look back, we can then see that one thing led to another, or in other words, you have to know where you've been in order to know where you're going. Slowing down is tough sometimes. Most of life is in busy mode, and time always feels limited. This concept is the hardest when I feel lost because as time ticks by, I feel more anxious, as if time is being lost. It's a multi-layered cause of more anxiety. Maybe I'm alone in this, but maybe not. Most people around me will tell me to slow down. No one can be 100% all of the time. And that, a little bit of respite goes a long way. All I think of is time lost. So in a way, if you feel the same way, this episode is both for you and I. Let's explore why taking a breather is beneficial when feeling lost. As I explored the topic, I came across a quote that said, "For fast-acting relief, try slowing down." I also found 5 reasons to slow down your life today and how to do it at positivityblog.com. I'm going to just list them and then we'll dive a little deeper. So here's 5 ways to slow down your life. Number 1, you can lose or maintain weight. Number 2, you can lower your stress levels. Number 3, You can gain clarity and find and do what is most important. Number 4, you can get a new idea and let creativity flow again. And number 5, you can connect with the present moment and just fully enjoy what is happening around you right now. Number 1, you can lose or maintain weight. Now, I am not a dietitian. This is just an idea, something to have as food for thought. But if you think about it, it takes about 20 minutes for your brain to register that you are full. That's because the food has reached the intestines before your body starts sending signals telling your brain that you feel full. By slowing down your eating, your brain can stop you before you eat too much. All of these are exercises and actionable and practical ways you can start to practice and build the skill set of slowing down. Focus on the food and yourself, not on what other people are doing. It's easy to get drawn into someone else's pace while eating, just like when driving or running, but be conscious of keeping your own pace instead of just unconsciously eating as fast as everyone around you, and slow down. It's interesting because I have a family member who lives in Italy, and when she came to visit, that was one of the first things she noticed. And she mentioned, why is everybody eating so fast? Why is everyone eating in the car? We live in this fast-paced life where taking care of ourselves and eating right and slowing down has become secondary. When in other countries, for example, Italy, they put so much emphasis on eating and that time with their loved ones and friends that it becomes a top priority. We need to slow down and make sure we're putting our well-being first. And one way to start practicing that is to slow down your eating. Now, you can lower your stress levels. Easier said than done. When you feel like life is going too fast, then you feel like you are losing control over it or barely hanging on. This, as you also probably have noticed, can cause a lot of unnecessary stress. So how do we slow down our stress? Simply do the things you are doing slower. If you are moving quickly, then just take a deep breath and slow down your movement and your pace when walking. Drive your car and ride your bike a little slower. As mentioned before, eat slower. Take in life around you a bit instead of focusing on setting a new speed record. Number 3, you can gain clarity and find and do what is most important. Here's another way to slow down. When you get lost and things are frantic and stressful, take a deep breath. Take in your surroundings for a minute or two and relax and reconnect with the present moment. As everything moves a bit too fast, it's so easy to get lost. If you don't think about what you are doing, then you can easily lose half of your workday doing busy work. Your mind is trained to think, hurry, hurry, hurry. What is the next thing? Instead of, what is the best use of my time and energy? You can get new great ideas and let the creativity flow again. If your mind is constantly bombarded with new information, voices, and sounds, then it will be very hard to find room for creativity and for getting new ideas. Influences are good for creativity, but an overload of input just makes you feel like your mind is overstuffed. So you may need to slow down and free up some space in the mind. Take a break or take a walk. Sit down in nature and watch the ocean, or take a shower, or take a while just to lie down on your bed or your sofa and shut out the world for just a little bit. Just be there without much thought about what you want to do or about the past or the future, and without judgment. Just relax and be there and focus on the world around you. Here's another great way to slow down. You connect with the present moment and just fully enjoy with what's happening around you. When you are aligned with the present moment, you tend to feel good and relaxed. Your mood is optimistic, You do your work in a focused manner, and the social part of your life tends to go smoother and become more fun. You do things well without having to think about it much at all. You are in a flow. This is a really great headspace to spend as much of your time in. You feel and you will work better this way. Practicing this in everyday life is great. You can go people watching. If you find yourself at the mall, you can just sit down, slow down, get a healthy snack, and just watch what's around you without judgment. It's a good way in our everyday things to just stay in the present moment. When our mind is split in a million different directions, that's when we start to feel lost. There's an overall theme here. Everything you do when slowing down has a benefit of some sort. One of the challenges I've come across when slowing down is feeling productive. I do all these other things, but it's not my work. So does it count? Yes, yes, and yes. It's something I still work on to this day, but I have learned the hard way of when I push myself even harder to run even faster, when I'm feeling lost, I almost fall deeper into the darkness. Sure, there are times in our lives where we need to push that extra mile, but sometimes when we are in the midst of the fog, it might be better to take a moment before our next step. Did you know that most servicemen and women are trained to stay calm in a crisis? This just popped into my head because I have a lot of service people in my family, and they can only do their job well when they're calm. Could you imagine being in an emergency and having the fire people freaking out right next to you? Probably wouldn't be that helpful. So slowing down in the midst of feeling lost, which can bring a lot of difficult emotions, can help us to push through. Next week, we'll talk about how we can, in a way, regain our composure when times get tough and we feel lost. Here's some more food for thought to leave you with. The time to relax is when you don't have time for it. The Lone Doctrine is a place to explore all the ins and outs of our mental well-being, and I hope I can support you through all your ups and downs. Better yet, connect you to resources that will constantly give you good food for thought. As we explore feeling lost further within this month, I hope you can find the light bulb moments that will guide you towards an awesome life. We are here for you, and we thank you for being here with us. Speaking of making life better, would you consider making our world a better place? We'd love for you to join our Patreon community as a patron. We are seeking change for the better, and here's how you can help. When you sign up to become a patron on Patreon, we'll be offering you bonus episodes, behind-the-scenes sneak peeks, interviews, giveaways, and more. We would love for you to join us, and the more you give, the more we can support you. Come visit us at patreon.com/Lone Doctrine, patreon.com, and you can also find the link in the show notes. And if you have any questions, please send us a message. But most of all, we hope you'll join us to further our mission in making today better than yesterday. Until next time, keep fighting the good fight.
It's a great day when you're hanging